Okay, so week 5, we're doing, let's see, okay, the roof exterior cladding elevations, okay, using the flower pedal method. What's that? Okay. So if you look at elevation, uh, you're looking at the side views. Okay, so we've been doing the floor plan, and from the floor plan we can project so that we look directly to the side view, and you'll have the south. So south normally is at the bottom. South elevation, meaning you're in the south side looking at the south face of the building. That's why we call it south elevation. And then we'll have the west, east, and north elevations. Now, how do you do that? You traditionally just project downward. I normally would create one line and then copy the line to the points that will create or make an imprint in your elevation. Okay. So first thing we want to do is we want to add the layers. So I think we already have the layers. Do you have the layers for elevations? So they will be starting with AE, architecture elevation. Kindly check if you do. Otherwise, the first thing that you'd like to do is to create the elevation. So let me go to the layer command, LA, and you see here AE will be the filter for A elevation east. Okay, so kindly check if you have this. If not, take a photo of this so you can see the layers for A elevation east, north, south, and west. So AEW. Okay. So take a photo of that. And then you can create a filter for all elevation layers, AE. For east elevation, you'll say AEE. For north elevation, you'll do a filter AEN. And then you'll have AES for south and AEW for west. Okay, so kindly take a photo and make sure you have these layers. Okay, so this is the method that we're going to be using. Okay, so we have here the different layers, the different colors. Okay, so take a photo of this so you can see the layer and the color being used. Okay, so that's for the south elevation. And then easily you can go here. If you don't have this, you can type nav for nav cube and turn it on. Okay, and then easily you can simply rotate this. So you have your east elevation right side up. But notice our UCS is, of course, not going where X is pointing to the right. So what you do is you simply type UCS and then you say view, V. Okay? And that should orient your UCS to the current view. Okay. Now, you can also save this UCS like what we did last time so that you can say UCS named restore east. But for me, I simply like to do UCS view, right? Instead of saving, restoring. I find that it's a lot faster rather than going to named, restore, and then typing east. Which one do you prefer? It's up to you. Okay? So, in my case, you can save the view or the UCS, or you can just say UCS V for view. Okay? And then you can go to the north elevation. Did you take a photo of the east elevation? Sorry. Uh, so east elevation. Okay. And then UCS. And then go north. That's the north elevation. Again, take a photo. And then again, you can say UCSV, right? Quick. For me, it's a lot faster than doing UCS restore name. Okay. And then I don't remember the name. But also saving the name is actually good sometimes, especially for Project North. I think it's uh, good, easier because you don't have to do the origin, X direction, Y point in the Y plane. So that for me is faster. Okay, so take a photo of that, and then let's go to the west elevation. So that's how the west elevation would look like. Okay, so take a photo of that. And then again, if you need to, you say UCSV. Very quick, right? Now, let's go back to the south elevation where we will start all of this. Okay, so how do we do this? Easily, let me just make a copy of this here. So let's say, or maybe just this one. Okay, let me just copy this, place it somewhere here. Okay, and I'll use this as my reference. So how do we do this? First thing you want to do, as always, you want to go to the layer. So our layer is, let's start with wall, AES wall. Architecture, elevation, south wall, AES wall. Okay, so I'll use this. And then I'm going to simply type my line command. Okay. Sorry. UCS view. So don't forget that. UCS V. Okay. Then I'm going to do my line command. Start here. Actually, I have a line here, right? If I want that shown, that nice little lip for your seal. And then I'm just going to project that down where I want my elevation to go. So maybe somewhere here. Okay. Now, from there, what I like to do is to simply copy this. Copy, and then click from that endpoint to the endpoints that will make an imprint to my elevation. Okay, so this one here. If I want to show the frame, there you go. So place that there. Okay, here. Again, normally I would like to show the frame. If you don't have a frame, then you can do a frame in your elevation. Okay, so right there, there, and so on. Easy, right? Some will do one line per projection. You have the copy command. It's a lot easier to simply copy. Okay, and you have this. Escape to cancel that command. Okay. So I'm going to use this as my reference. So here it says 10 feet and then 10 inches. Now, this one, you really don't want to measure it. You want the slope to define it, right? You want the slope to define it. So I'll do that later. Let me just make a copy of this slope. So I'll show you how I do it later. Okay. So I'm just going to place this here. Okay. So everybody did the projection. Easy, copy, copy, copy. Right? Now, and then you add a line that will serve as your ground. So this one should be in the ground layer, AES ground. So for that one, I don't want to change the uh, layer anymore, just for one line, but I do want to change it immediately. Okay, make it a habit, because otherwise changing layers later sometimes becomes too tedious. Okay, so and then from here I do my offset. In fact, I should not have done that first, because I will be doing a wall layer, but that's okay. I'll do an offset of 10 feet. That's the height of our uh, wall. And then, yeah, that's the reason why I should not have done that yet, but that's okay. And then from here, I'm going to do my roof. Uh, Sorry, I should have copied my roof projection. How come I don't have my roof? Yeah, I don't have a roof here. I think we did a projection by how much? So our roof from the wall is either 2 feet. I don't know what you have. 2 feet? Yeah, okay. So I'll just offset this by 2 feet then. But if you have the wall, the roof, then you could have also copied that. But I'm just going to offset this by 2 feet right there. Okay. So from here, I'm going to offset that by 10 inches. That's the uh, fascia, right? Fascia gutter. So I'm going to offset this by 10 inches. So 10, if you don't place the coat uh, or the double coat, then it will default to inches. So you don't need to place the coat or the double coat. Okay. There you go, 10 inches. That's the default. Okay. Now from here, I need to, actually, I do need the, uh, oh, there's the roof plan. Okay. Let me copy this. Copy. I do need this. Okay. So copy this. So I know where the roof will, pitch will meet, right? So I do need that. So let me copy this from here to there. Okay. Yep. There you go. Because I do need this uh, line right here projected down. So I'll do that later. Now for pitch, there are different roof pitches, right? So you have 0 to 12, flat roof, right? Moving to 12, 12, 45-degree angle. Now, normally, the nice pitch will be somewhere here, right? 5 to 12. That's about 22 degrees. Okay? So, again, this should be, notice this is not at 45-degree. I don't prefer that. I don't like that. This is about 30, 60, right? Now, why 45 degrees? It's a lot easier for carpenters to create a miter joint, 45-degree angle, than a 30-60 on site. So when you're doing this, try to avoid 30-60. You can, it's doable, but it's harder to make. They do have their technique to do it, so no problem if you really want that as a design. Okay? But I prefer 45 by 45. So 512, let's see what we have here. So DI, you make a line, so that's 5 by 12, okay? By 1 foot, okay? So 5 by 12, you connect this, and then you simply copy this to your, where your pitch will start. And then what's the next thing that you do? You trim, extend, right? Or, yeah, but I do need this point right here where it will end, the pitch of the roof. So I'm going to make a copy of this from here to there. I don't really need it here because I can simply mirror that later. Okay, so anytime you can do copy, then you can omit the process. Okay, so let me just change the color of that so I know which line I would like to use. And then instead of trim, I'm going to use the extend command. So extend, I'm allowed to select the uh, boundary edge, right? Boundary edge. So that's the boundary edge. Enter. And then click this. So it goes directly to the boundary. If I use the trim command, I have to extend it, one boundary at a time. So extend is better when you have a lot of lines that it has to go through. Okay? And then from here, I can mirror that. So MI. Now, but I'll do that mirror command later because notice that this is actually, in effect, symmetrical. So why mirror it now when you can mirror it later? Okay? So mirror it once. Okay. So here, the this line is magenta. It's thinner. Why? Because if you look at our floor plan, this is at the back, right? So the farther an object is, to make it pop out, make it a little thinner. So that's why I use yellow here and then magenta there. Okay? So yellow, yellow, and then magenta, magenta, yellow, yellow, magenta. Okay? So that's the reason why we have those lines here, to show that it is inclining a bit, right? Notice if you go to your elevation south, see the effect? There's that feeling of, thick lines and thinner lines, moving, sloping away. Okay? See? Look. But if they're both yellow, it will look like they're in the same plane, flat. Okay? So that's the reason why we want to do that. So let's go back to our model and let's do that. Okay? Uh, so I'm just going to make a copy of this here for reference. So for us to see. Okay. Just going to make a copy of that right there. So here we want this line to be magenta. So I'm just going to trim this now. Sorry. Trim, TR. Okay. I'm going to trim that. I'm going to trim this. And then I think that line will be here, the second line, right? So I'm going to trim this. Okay. So I don't need those. And then I can also trim this one below. Okay, so trim those. And here, yeah, let me trim this so I don't need those. And then I can erase that if I don't need it. Okay, so this one I can trim already. Okay, so cleaning it up. And then all I need to do is select this and change that to magenta. It still belongs to the wall layer, but the color is magenta. This will be yellow. Uh, what's these two lines right here? The frame. Okay. So for the frame, notice again, we have magenta, which is the bigger frame, and then a thinner line for the inner frame. Okay. And how does it look like? It looks like this. Look at it if they're both magenta. It will look flat, right? But with a combination of a uh, medium thickness and a thin line, it has some sort of a depth, right? Even if they belong on the same plane, right? This actually belongs on the same plane. Okay, so it's up to you to change colors. If you want more thinner line like gray, you can also do that, right? So that your drawing pops out. Okay, so here we'll do that, but we need the height for the window. So what's the height? It didn't say here. So let me just measure that. DI from here to there is 3 feet. Okay, so let me offset this by 3 feet. Offset 3 feet. There you go. And then for the window itself, DI, that's 4 feet. Okay, so 4 feet offset by 4 feet. Okay, so that's our window. And then for the thickness of the frame, that's 2 inches. So offset by 2. Again, you don't need to place the double coat if it's in inches. So I'll offset that by 2 inches. And then I'm going to trim this, trim that, trim this, and trim that. Okay. And then I can just change colors. Maybe trim this as well. Trim this. Oops. Okay. Okay. And then I can change colors. So this one here, they will belong to the window layer. Well, they all belong to the window layer. So let's do that. Again, changing layer should be part of the process. So A, E, S, win. There you go. So immediately, it also changed colors. So that's just one step. And all I need to do is select the inner part of the frame and change that to green. So they all belong to the window layer, but I now have the thickness, line weight that I need. Kevin, are you good? Okay. Next, I don't need this, so let me erase this, delete that. I don't need this, right? Because I'm just going to mirror this later. So I don't need this anymore. So clean up so it doesn't become confusing. This one I don't need. I only need that for that line right there. So I don't need this anymore. Do I need the projection lines? Not really. So I can delete that, or maybe I need that for now. So I know I do know that the endpoint is right there, but just for visual context, I will keep this. Okay. So what's next? Next will be the yellow line right here. So is it this line right here? So you select. Yep, that's the line. And notice that we do have one variation here. There's like a canopy projecting out. So we have to do that first uh, when we do this central area. So how do we do that canopy? Well, first we project offset this by how much of a canopy do you need. So we already have a 2 feet offset, and then maybe another 2 feet for the canopy. Okay, so that makes it 4 feet. We have our roof right here, and we're going to project it by another 2 feet. Okay, so I'm just going to say offset by 4 feet. I'm going to offset from the wall down here. Okay, so that will be my canopy. Now, from here, I just need a line from the midpoint. Okay, and uh, so this one will project here. So let me extend this to there. Move this a little bit closer. Okay, and then from here, a 45-degree angle, right? So I can actually copy this from here to there. There's my 45-degree. It goes in, and it should go into my building. So how do I do that? I'll not copy this again. So this one will meet my roof line right here. So there should be a line there. Okay. So once it meets the roof, you create another 45-degree, and then it meets the center. So I'll have a line right here. Okay. So that will be the slope of the roof. Does that make sense? Not really. Okay, so visualization, right? So you projected this from the roof line, it goes out. So you have a 45-degree from that corner. And then here, of course, your slope here will meet your roof. So they will meet at a 45-degree angle. And then at the apex, it will form a line. Okay? So that's how we will do it, right? 245-degree. So we can trim this, trim that. Okay? And then we can mirror this to the other side, but we don't really need to. All we need is this projection line right here. And then we need this one here. What do we need? A line from here. Maybe you don't understand this for now, but when I project this here, this will be this distance here is where my apex for this canopy will meet my main roof. Okay? Maybe it's hard to understand right now, but we'll see if you can, if I make the projection. So let's see. So number one, I already have the projection of the center. Do I? This one here, right? That's the center. So I'll project that below, down here. Oops, not there. Make it straight. So zoom in, keep it straight. Okay, so this is the center of the canopy, right? That's the center of the canopy. Now, slope. What slope should I use? I'm going to use the same slope as this one, which is the 5 by 12. So same slope. So I'm just going to copy this from here to where? Where's my roof? So it's this line right here beside the cyan. Okay? So it's this one here, right there. Okay? Right there. That's the canopy. Agree? Yes. Okay, good. Now it goes up to here, right? Okay, so trim. I'm going to trim, sorry, undo, DR. Okay, so it should go up to there. Okay, delete that. Now, look at this one here. From here, if I make a projection, so copy and copy this from here to there. Okay. See, it goes down. Let me change the color so I can easily identify that. Okay, right there. Move this here and then create a line. Okay, so uh, this here, right there, is where my canopy should actually meet, right? Based on my projection. Did I do 45 degrees as well? Yep, I did 45. Uh, but they do not meet. So what does that mean? Either this one is correct or this one should be there because that's where it should meet. Okay. So it has a steeper slope. Okay. Because when you project this here, right, it says at this point, that's where my canopy should meet. So this one has a little steeper slope. Does that make sense? Right? See, at 45-degree, imagine this sloping, right? And you make a horizontal line, it meets this 45-degree angle. We project it down, it meets our slope, and then we project it back. That's where it meets. Make sense? Okay. I'll stop there for now and allow you to catch up. So from here, I'm just going to need to define my line. So there's this line right here. That will be that line. So yellow, and then this one will be magenta. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this. Sorry, trim, trim all of this. And then this is yellow. Oops, I forgot to trim this. And then this will be magenta. So sorry, not changing the wall, just changing the color. Okay, magenta, and then I have the door here. The door height is 2100. What's 2100 millimeters? 710. Okay, let's go with that. Offset 7 feet 10 inches. Okay, so offset this there, and then offset trim. So let me just trim this, trim that, trim this, trim that, actually erase that. And this is our door. And then I'm just going to offset this by 2 inches. Okay, 2 inches is the frame. Do I go up or down? Down? Okay, let's go down. And then I'm going to change all of this to the AE South door. AE South door layer. There you go. And then trim, trim this, trim that, and then change this to color green. Okay, to give it a nice pop out. And then maybe add a door knob here or something, right? Do a design. Whatever you did for the door schedule, okay? So you just copy that and paste that here, right? Okay? Or vice versa. Copy this, put it there. Yep. Yep. I'm just doing half, right? Why half? Why not half the door? Oh, this one here? Uh Good. Because it's symmetrical, I don't need this. Yes. You're correct. Good question. I was just filled with coffee earlier, so I was over energetic earlier. But yeah, yeah, true. Okay. And any other item That's good actually. Good thinking. Why not just project that other now next from here I can mirror, I think. Anything I should do first before mirroring? Oh, this one here. Hatch I'll do after. So this one I would like to do. It's up to you how far this fascia or design will look like. So I can maybe do 10 inches as well. So offset by 10. So maybe I'd like to do that. Offset by 10. And then maybe I should not have. So maybe just extend this. Okay. I actually need that. This I still need that. And then offset by 10. Okay, maybe offset this. There you go. So maybe this will be my design. Trim that, trim this. So I don't need that. Okay. And then I can trim this and trim that. I can erase that. Okay. And then maybe I can trim this. Okay. Okay, looking good. Maybe, yeah, let me just delete that. Okay, and uh, erase that. Okay, anything else you think I should do? I think we're good, right? We're good. And then we need to mirror. So I can erase this. I don't need that as well. I did the half, and then I can say MI. I'll mirror this. I will not mirror the door, right? Mirror that. I do not need to mirror this. So hold down the control key, or sorry, shift key to deselect. I don't want to mirror that. Anything I need to mirror, I don't need to mirror this. I'll just trim that later. We're good. And then this is my mirror line right there. And there you go, done. And then uh, add this line. So I'll just add this line right there. And done almost. So just hatching. So I need to trim, erase all of this. I don't need this. Okay.
Why there is on the edges double line, there is a magenta and there is yellow.
Where?
Uh,
This one here?
guys, no, the very far side. Yeah,
Oh,
here.
this one here? Good question. So there's the line, project this. Remember the window here?
Oh,
It goes out a little bit. So if you want to show that, then we can. So that will be like a
big line.
yeah, trim, right? And this will be, I think, green will be good. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's the window. I think it's actually below. It should be, yeah, seal. It should be below this. So I'll move that. Move this from move this from here to there. Yeah. So the window will be here, the frame, and then that's the seal.
You can do it in light gray as well, just
Oh,
like
you
the
like
window.
light gray? Yeah. I
No,
think,
because I'm matching it with the layout, with the plan.
yeah. But remember, this is elevation, different from the plan.
Yeah,
But
but not
no. It's thickness, not material, right? So gray is okay. I like. Let's see how it will look like. Did we do? No, we didn't. We didn't do the lip here, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's in the elevation right there. Okay, and then offset by 1 foot 5 inches right there. Trim. Okay. And then we can do our hatching. Okay. Trim. Sorry. I don't want to do that there or here. Okay. Okay. And then we can do some hatching next. Okay. So I can erase this now. I don't have a need for that. So slope 5 by 12. You copy, extend. You do half, and then you mirror. Maybe a circle here will be nice. Okay. A bent. So maybe somewhere here. Okay. And change that to a lighter color. So maybe green. Okay. And then what do you do next? Trim steps. Yeah, here. So maybe a step down by what 10 inches or 7. What's a step? 7, yes. So offset by 7. So offset that here. So I'll have a step. So this would be my wherever you want it, right? So maybe align to this or maybe here. Okay, how big is your platform here for the canopy? So you can put it up to here, I suppose, right? If you want to, yeah, you can do it up to here. So, and then this will be the ground, and then this will be extended. Okay, trim. Okay, uh, so extend this. You should have told me that earlier. Okay, now I need to delete this and then trim. Yeah, so this one we need to mirror this. Sorry, mirror this. Okay, so I also have that over there. And then this one, maybe I don't want it to be too thick. Cyan is too thick, so I think magenta will be fine. What do we have here? Actually, gray. Okay, so let's do a gray one. Uh, Gray, and then maybe offset that by maybe 2 inches. So there's a nice little top. Okay. And then this one here, maybe I need to trim. Yeah. So I need to trim this because this is the step up. Yeah. Okay. So a little more fancier. That's the ground, a step up. Okay. So trim, hold down the shift key to extend that. So it becomes a little taller than the 10 feet, right? Or you add a step here. It's up to you. I don't really mind. Okay, then we do the hatch pattern. So HA, before we go to hatch, go back to, yeah, change the layer, but go back to week 5, uh, week 5 presentation. So here there's a nice website that we can look for patterns. Okay, so window right here. Okay, so uh, so right here, right? If you click this, uh, okay, if you click this, it goes to this free AutoCAD hatch patterns, and there are patterns that you can use. This is the pattern that we use, stonework hatch pattern for this one. Okay, stonework hatch pattern. So you go to your website presentation. There's a nice link there in week 5. Okay. Control click. And then you extract that file and you put it here. Now the folder might be different because your version is 2026. So just look for this. Okay, so you can copy this. And if you open the Explorer, okay, you can paste this here. And let's see, Autodesk roaming. Let's see. It doesn't show, but again, paste it here. Let's just go to App Data. Let's see. It's not there. I think I need to go to this PC first, or C. Go to C, and then maybe paste it there. App Data roaming Autodesk AutoCAD. No, it doesn't know that.
Try to add your AutoCAD.
No, I'm trying to search for this folder. So users, let's just go by through it one at a time. So you go to this PC or C, users, and then uh admin. No, I don't have admin. I might your username, no, last score, updata. Let's see. Do I have updata? No. Hmm, I think it's only go back, users, back one more C, Autodesk, uh, AutoCAD. Nope. Let me search for that first. Okay. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do for the north, south, and north, which is what you're going to do for the east and west. Okay, so once I have this completed, I'm not going to do the hatching first. I'm going to now mirror this, MI, mirror, and I'm just going to create a mirror line so you can see the mirror copy there, mirror, the erase source object, no, and then I'm going to rotate this. So I'm now in my north elevation view. Don't forget to change your UCS to the view, the current view, so V. So your UCS will be aligned to the north elevation. Here, the only difference is the uh, door. So I'm just going to make a projection here for where the door should be, and then make a copy of this. Okay, so from here to there. Okay, that's where the door should be. And then I can now erase this. I don't need this, nor do I need this. Okay, so I don't need those. I don't need this. And this one I don't need. We don't have those lines here. So I don't need this as well. What else don't I need? So I don't need those. And hit the enter key. I'm going to extend this. Okay, there you go. And then this one here, I will use the stretch command. STR, stretch, enter, select this, and stretch this from here. Look at that. Nice. To there. So I stretch it back. This one, maybe I need some sort of a landing, step up. How far do I want it? It's up to me. So you decide how far that is. And then you get, maybe I'll do that offset by how much? Maybe 1 foot 6 inches. How about that? Okay. Like right there. right there. Okay, so simply extend this. Okay, and then trim that, trim this, trim that, trim this. Okay, and then erase this. Okay, do I need a canopy at the back? You can if you want to, but maybe not. And that's about it, right? This one should be magenta. So this one should belong to the door layer. AEN door. AEN. Do I have one? AEN door. Here we go. And then this one will belong to the, I'll just put it in the door layer. AEN wall. AEN wall layer. What color? Uh, I think yellow is okay. What color did I use here? Magenta. Yeah, so maybe I need to fix that. Magenta. Okay. Okay, and make a line from here to there, from here to there, and change that line to cyan. Okay. Okay. So the same technique you will do for the, if you notice, they're about the same. So I will do the east and then mirror that. Okay. Again, changing the orientation, view orientation, and the UCS view. So same technique. So that's a good question. Why did I not move this? Why did I stretch? Well, with stretch, I was able to also stretch the line. So STR, that's the command, stretch. You click somewhere where there are no objects, and then you move to the left so that you get a crossing option. Anything that's within the box will be moved. Anything that crosses the box will be stretched. Okay? So I can do this and I can place it anywhere. See? Okay? So stretch, select, right? And keep it straight and you can stretch it. Okay? Undo, undo.
It's like you can expand the one.
Yes, you don't have to trim anymore. Okay, so once I let uh, Windows search for my file, the PAT file, right? Extension. Then you can right click, right click on it and say, uh, look for the location. Okay, I made a mistake of asking it to go back, but I did copy the location. So I'm just going to type that, right? Enter, and there it is. That's the location. So all you need to do is copy this, Control C, and then paste it here. Control V. Uh, okay, I need to extract it first. See, this is a zip file. So double click on it. Okay, copy it, and then paste it outside. Okay, this is the one that you'd like to copy. Control C and paste it there. Continue. Yeah, okay, there it is. So HS edge stone. Let's see. Once we hit the hatch command, HA, and we should be able to see the stone pattern. Is it here? Gravel Uh, I can't find it. It's not here. Honey. Oh, wait. Earth. What happened to the copied file? Earth. It's alphabetically arranged, right? H. Insulation. Uh-huh. So it should be here already. Okay, so after you have done the south elevation, right, you go to your east. I think it's best to do the east elevation. You do the projection. And remember, we did the canopy right here. We projected it out by 2 feet. So we project that down, and that will be the extent of. So copy this from here to the main roof, to the main roof, and then to the wall. So that will be the projection outward from the wall. Okay. And then, like earlier, you uh, copy this. Now, do I need to project this? Here, I can just copy it once, and then I can use that as my reference to copy this window to that window right there, and then maybe to the end. Okay. And then likewise, again, best to do UCS view. Then you make your line where you want your elevation to go. Okay. And for this one, I'm just going to copy this so you can see how it should look like. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this for now. Here you go. So you make the projection. Actually, it's a little bit different than ours. So I need to move this here. Okay. But yeah, I think there's, oh, I think I made a mistake. Move. I think this should go here. There you go. Yeah, that's the roof. Okay. So there's the projection. And then I will copy this there. Uh, Now, this one, we simply projected it by, I think, just 1 foot 6 inches. But in our case, we projected it by how much? 2 feet. So I'm just going to extend that there. And then I need to uh, move that hatch boundary. Okay. Okay. And then you copy this, you project, you do the same thing here. And then, yeah, for the middle, it should align to this apex here, right? So if you project that down, yeah, it should align right there. Okay. So you make your 5 by 12. You copy this. You copy this right here and then extend up. Okay. You complete this. Once completed, then you can now mirror this. Mirror this right here. No. And then you just edit this for your west. Sorry. Yeah. For the east elevation. Is that east? Yeah, we did the west. Yeah, you do the west, sorry, west, where you have the two windows, and then you copy this to the east, and then you simply make a projection from here to there. It's the same. So all you need to do is erase this, right? And then you might need to rehatch this because there's no way of getting rid of the boundary. Okay. So you just need to rehatch that. But that's how you do your east elevation. Easy, right? And then you just rehatch HA. The pattern will be the user pattern. Uh, yeah, make sure you have user, and then you say 10 inches. 10, enter. And you're done with your east elevation. You add the dimensions, notation, and you're done. Okay. Again, you may or may not change the UCS, but when you're working, it's always nice to say UCS view. Okay. And then you make sure you change the uh, layers. So this is AEE. So that's good, right? Because it's already been changed. So this one will be the in the wall layer. Okay, make sure that's in the AEE wall. This one will be AEE hatch layer. Okay, so you go here, AEE hatch layer, AEE hatch. Okay, so make sure they are in the correct layer. This one will be window layer. So AEE win. Okay, this one will be in the roof layer. AEE roof, but the hatch could go to the hatch layer. So this one will be in the AEE roof layer. Okay.
So each direction has